My name is Mandisa, and I work under my spirit name, Mandula. Mandisa means sweetness, it means joy, and it means abundance. Depends culturally, like where you are, where you look within Africa. So, what I generally say is I bring an abundance of sweetness and joy. And Mandulo is the one who comes first. So, it's creation. And with creation comes destruction because certain old systems need to be destroyed as to how do we look at things? How can we rewire our brain and see things from a different perspective? So I find myself at another very interesting point in my life, crossroads, decisions to make, and wanting to have this conversation on a more like studio sort of base, but truth is I'm halfway in between like the bathroom and um, the kitchen, and this is like the best lighting. The rest is just, it feels so ugh, you know. So these conversations are going to be intimate, they're going to be raw, and it was like I was guided, like release the facade of having this perfect studio. At some point you'll have what you want, but for now this is like work with what you have. So I'm hoping to help you self master yourself so that you can be more comfortable in your own skin, and you will start to build a more intimate relationship with yourself. And when you build that intimate relationship with yourself, you can be more intimate with the world around you. And then it can just feel like you're with me, you're in my space, you're in my home, I'm in yours, and we're just having a conversation. And in this conversation, we are going to help each other bring different perspectives into things that are causing our suffering. Life is about suffering because suffering comes with change, but you got to learn how to suffer better. That's what I heard once. You got to learn how to suffer better. You got to learn how to welcome the change that is coming into your life and to resist not with the flow. So I woke up this morning, heart um, like racing a little bit faster. And there's so many things that I can offer that one thinks, where do I even begin? And as I was sitting in meditation, I'm like, focus on the breath. Okay, these thoughts are coming. Focus on the breath. Okay, these thoughts are coming. What are these thoughts telling me? And one thing that came up as to how we offer resistance so easily, it said, stop putting structure to flow. I was like, okay, so that's exactly where my resistance is coming, is trying to put structure to flow. And what came up very strongly is that we need to understand and get more awareness of the cyclical nature that we are in. Now, we have the reasons why things are cyclical, not only within us, but outside, the seasons, you know, the moon, the sun, it changes. There is constant change that somehow we still trying to put structure to that change. And instead of working with the flow, a lot of the times we're going against the flow. Now you'll understand this definitely with someone who has a womb. You'll understand that your cycle, your moods change. We become winter, we have that inner experience of winter, we have that inner experience of spring, we have an inner experience of our summer and autumn. Okay, so if what is outside is what we are experiencing with nature, we are projections. What is happening inside of us is happening outside of us. And this feels like that sort of conversation where it's like we need to wake up to really bringing ourselves back to life, back to living on a more deeper, you'll hear me say deep a lot because it's like just it's like this feeling of like really going into heart medicine where God resides, like right here, right here. This is what gives you life. It's what sources you. And as we become more intimate with self, then I can be more intimate and not fear that you're going to infringe upon my safety if I become too intimate. So when you are in flow, let me look at it from this perspective. When you are younger, the way in which you created safety was through movement, through sound, and you were in constant motion. I remember someone telling me, remember that everything is in constant movement. And you notice how we are constantly picking up through sensory experiences things, right? We are picking up experiences, we are picking up our thoughts because you're hearing things, you're seeing things, you are tasting things, you are associating things, you're remembering things from the past, but it's all happening now. So imagine that energy like pulsing through the body. And what happens is because now you are experiencing these things, but you're trying to create safety for yourself. A lot of the time, you moving and you creating sounds in your home was not a good thing to do, right? If you were too loud or if you were too busy for your parents sometimes, they would stop you from moving, they would stop you from using your voice. And then when you stop using your voice, it builds this serious anxiety because now you don't know how to transfer this energy that is in constant flow, like it's moving. You breathe in, you breathe out, you breathe in, and you breathe out, right? Because you have just received so much information from this conversation, and there's no particular part in which it has to be set in your mind. You have to open yourself to be able to receive what is it from this information that I'm sharing today that you need to receive in particular. There's some healing that is needed for you in particular, right? So stop putting structure to flow because it is ultimately making you feel less safe as much as you think it's putting safety to you. Why? Because of what I spoke about, the as a child, your safety comes through movement. You knew like children know that they have to move. Children know that they have to sing. Children know that they just have to like be. The energy needs to be constantly in motion. But when you are suppressing that child's freedom to move, to 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 shift the energy, then you stop them from using their voice. And when you stop someone from using their voice, you stop them from believing in themselves. When you stop people from believing within themselves, you take away their power. So what happens is when you take away people's power, then you start wanting to control power. And this is where it comes in relationships. And that's why it can become so dangerous to go into a relationship when you don't have this when you can hold yourself, you can hold yourself, you can look yourself in the mirror deeply and you can go, like, I love you. I love you. When was the last time you told yourself, I love you? I love you so much. Like, I love you so, so much. When was the last time you actually did that? And you looked at yourself and you were just like, I am willing to do everything to protect you, holding yourself. But then we expect the safety from another person in a relationship. And the unfortunate thing is, unless that person feels really safe, you are both unsafe beings trying to find safety within each other, right? So it's like, stop putting structure to flow when what you need to learn is how to move the energy. So maybe you need to, in your seat, like I do this a lot, because I can feel energy come into my body and it feels intense sometimes, it feels intense, but you gotta like let the body move and like freedom. And then you allow yourself to breathe and you allow that awkwardness to not be awkward anymore. Because how is it that you're supposed to be stationary? You know, how? How is it? That's just, you know, it's unfair. It's unfair. And I'm hoping to just bring through these intimate conversations. I'm going to bring more in like an embodiment practice. Once again, it's going to be right here in the kitchen, because of space for now. And then we're going to just have deeper conversations, meditations, where we can build that deeper, intimate relationship with self again holistically. And we can understand that until I am deeply connected with self, then it will be easier for me to be connected to others in the world. But remember, everybody is you. Everybody is also seeking what you're seeking, right? Connection. That's all we're seeking, is connection. And there's different mediums to connection. Like yesterday, it actually came up, and I remember someone had said this too, that the one thing every human being is addicted to is connection. We crave connection. It's a deep need for connection. And that need doesn't come out of insecurity. It's a need because that's how we thrive. If you look at any plant network, our cells, they connect. It's we are wired to connect. But then when you are disconnected, then I can't see you as me, and you can't see, or yeah, I can't see you as me, and then you can't see you as me, because we've just come to this conversation because we are all one. It's just I happen to look like this and you happen to look like that. But it's the same network that runs through our blood. Our blood is the same. We all have either I almost wanted to say A, B, C, D. Okay. We have O, we have B, we have A, we have AB. Okay. We all won. And I'm actually loving this conversation because I feel, oh, free, free to just be intimate. Because I don't know about you, but I'm quite exhausted having to put on so many masks, so many masks when I step out the door, just because some people might not feel safe with this level of intimacy, this level of just let's talk, let's like really talk, and we can get to this point where it's like we can get to this point where we can see each other, you know, we can have this intimate connection and not be afraid to look each other in the eye and to say, I see you. I see you because I see me. I see myself. I see myself through you. And I respect myself. And as I respect myself, I respect you. And I honor myself. And if I honor myself, I honor you. I honor you. And I can see you for you. I can honor that through this path, through the changes, the discomfort, your resistance, that by having these deeper, more intimate conversations, we can release having the structure to the flow. And then we can learn to be comfortable with each other when the one is uncomfortable, and you can understand that if I'm moving and I'm in agitation, it's got nothing to do with you. It's me understanding that the energy needs to move, right? So it just feels like if we can breathe and stretch the body. Yawning is also a very, very beautiful way to integrate the energetic shifts in your body here. Oh, feels so good. Do you want to breathe with me a little bit? Because it just, every now and again, it helps. Like, I understand that you might be in a different path in the conversation versus where I am. And I just want to sit and honor that. Because through these conversations, we become portals for one another. And start to feel your breath right now. Noticing the different sounds around you. I love to use sound on the exhalation in the body because it allows me to enter. Remember, I said earlier, breath, movement, sound. Get the body moving. Let the energy flow where it needs to flow. Shift the body, adjust your seat. And this becomes that art of living. So usually when I've received a lot of information, and I might find a sense of me that feels a little bit overwhelmed, I'm just changing my seat. What feels a little bit overwhelming every now and again is to take a deep breath in, to exhale the breath. No, rather, sorry, to take a deep breath in, to hold the breath as long as it feels comfortable, and then to exhale, drop into the body. So I'm going to shift into my seat. Ouch. All right. So comfortable, eyes closed. Just be more intimate with the self. Recognizing from my side, I really would have loved peace from no sounds in this particular conversation, but I am at home. Let's check if your neck needs stretching, turn it towards the side if it needs to. Draw chin to chest, roll it over towards the other side. play around with movement with the neck, because you want to like listen in and just tune in to, I've got tension that I might be experiencing in my neck right now. How do I breathe with it? How do I shift it? How do I twist into the neck? How do I explore with my eyes closed and with my breath leading my body? How do I allow myself to be taken? How do I relax into the shoulders, the jawline? And then am I still breathing? You just understand that these conversations, the goodness of breath. I'm going to open up my eyes. If you want to open up your eyes. I love how this is just going into the most, for me, random, but also not random way of conversing and showing up online. So I guess it's going to be a little bit of everything, a little bit of movement, a little bit of just like touch onto yourself, and then just that more, intimate touch together. And the breath and the movement, and just reminding you to breathe in conversation. So, whatever was stopping your flow from there, stop putting the structure to flow with certain things, and just allow things to naturally flow into your life, and allow the magic. You know, if you already have things that aren't necessarily feeling magical and they are structured, then the rest of your life, allow for the flow, allow for the breath. And yeah, this is a space to just get more intimate with self. So I am here just vibrating so much more love out. And I am allowing that space for difference. I'm allowing that space for deeper, intimate conversations that are unique, that allow you to feel safe, allow you to move your energy, and allow you to be like, it's absolutely normal. You're so normal, and you're so worthy, and you're so loved. I hope you remember that, your worthiness, that any relationship that you are in right now, that you feel like you need them and you can't be without them. I want you to understand your power, and you're so worthy. You're so worthy to be loved, and you have so much value. I just want to remind you of your value that you have. Is never, ever, ever forget that. I'm going to link a description of the poem I Believe in Myself. And I want you to repeat it to yourself constantly. I believe in myself, again and again and again. You got to tell yourself, this is like mirror work. You got to tell yourself, I believe in myself. I know I have value. Because when I show up with value, then I can show up confidently in the world without needing someone to make me feel secure. Then when we love in relationship, we can love fully. We can love and allow that person to move and to create their sense of safety without ourselves needing to control that. Because ultimately, you are regurgitating what your parents did to you, right? And you also, at the same time, what they did to you, you're also trying to change, so that you're putting structure to something that's naturally trying to flow. That's where this comes in, is stop putting structure to flow. Allow for movement and for freedom. When you find freedom within yourself, then, you know, everybody becomes free. But if you don't find freedom in yourself, the world around you is not going to feel free.